If you like this podcast, you might also like my written work as well. All of my writing is housed in Moon Matters magazine on Substack. It's free to subscribe, just like this podcast. Weekly newspaper-style horoscopes, retrograde rundowns, and lunar event coverage go right to your inbox for free. All you need is an email and a pair of working thumbs. Maybe even just one thumb will get you there. My Substack is literally just @Delana. Go find me. I ramble a lot there too. We've got a much calmer week ahead of us compared to last week, so let's get into the forecast and see what we can expect. Every week I sit down and open my astrology software and load up the transits for the coming week. Imagine my surprise when I saw that we truly only have 3 things going on. This is a good time to remind us all of how I craft these forecasts. When we look at transits, we should be using a very small orb, 2 degrees being the standard. That's what I use in these forecasts. So while there may be other things running in the background at larger orbs, I'm only looking at aspects between planets that are within 2 degrees and that are mostly with the traditional planets. You guys know I will occasionally throw the generational ones in there. They're not my forte. They're not my thing. I try to throw them in just to be inclusive. I don't know, that's the Libra rising wanting to be inclusive, but it is really mostly the traditional planets that I'm focusing on. So this week, there's technically only one aspect that's going to be important to note, and the other 2 things are an ingression and a retrograde station. So it's not like we have nothing going on. We have material to work with, and honestly, we all need a little break after the last 2 weeks. Saturn stationing retrograde, the full moon in Aquarius, Mercury stationing direct, and the Jupiter Cazimi. All those things happen within just days of each other, so I think we can welcome a slower week. Even though it's a bit slower, there is still an ingression and a planetary station, which changes the landscape yet again. The station happens on Monday, August 3rd, and it happens to none other than Chiron. Chiron is sitting steadily at 0 degrees of Taurus. It didn't even make it to 1 degree before it stationed retrograde and began its journey back to Aries. I remember when it ingressed into Taurus. I told you guys, I was like, we only have about 3 months with Chiron in this sign. We're not going to get a whole lot from it, so prepare for it to come back to Aries and don't worry about it too much. The time for it to come back to Aries is already happening. The retrograde journey begins today, and come mid-September, it'll be back in Aries. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really feel Chiron in Taurus all that much, so if you didn't either, that's okay. It was such a small stint, and we had so many other big astrological events happening at the same time that it was going to be hard to notice Chiron, especially if you don't have natal Taurus placements or natal placements that would aspect those early degrees of Chiron in Taurus. If you do have those things, you may have felt this preview a little bit more, but don't beat yourself up if you feel like you're missing something, if you didn't feel it, or if it wasn't super impactful, because you didn't miss anything. There's going to be plenty of time for the wounds of Chiron and Taurus once it fully ingresses after it finishes up in Aries. We'll talk more about the completion of the Chiron and Aries cycle once it does finally ingress back in September, and I'll honestly probably write an article about it for Moon Matters magazine, because sometimes seeing the transit broken out into words and actualized on paper, it helps us understand it better, especially something with such a long transit time like the last 9 years in Aries. But for now, we need to give a little attention to the wounds of Chiron and Taurus. If we didn't notice anything, it might be slightly more noticeable through the retrograde energy, but also it might not, and that's okay. If you did have some weirdness in this area of life when Chiron ingressed, then the retrograde will be about tending to those little cuts and scrapes and not letting them fester until Chiron returns back to Taurus, because that won't be until April of 2027. Do not, please, 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 do not let something rot until then, please. The week starts off with the subtlety of Chiron's retrograde, and then we don't have much until Thursday. On Thursday, Venus leaves its place of fallen dignity and is ushered into domicile dignity via Libra. The realm of Libra is going to be lit up with social graces, flirtatious curiosity, beauty, harmony, and good feelings all around. Venus in Libra is not the airhead Barbie pop astrology would have you believe just because it likes the color pink and glittery things. It's the justice seeker, the peacemaker, and the curator of thought. I tell my students all the time that the cardinal signs manipulate. That's what they do. So Libra is the manipulation of thought. Venus does this through beauty, art, politeness, and by instilling feelings of equanimity. Enjoy the harmonic burst that Venus brings to the realm of Libra. It's an area that we need to tend to and bring life to through its curation. This can be small acts of beauty or extending kindness to self or others. It really all depends on the house that this lands in for you. Say it's something like your fourth house, then maybe bring some fresh cut flowers in as a decoration, reorganize your space in a way that speaks to your current aesthetic, or even smooth tensions with family members. Anything that brings peace and beauty to the home, that's going to be for people with fourth house Libra. Apply this to whatever area of life Libra rules for you. This can also be a time when we're needing to assess fairness in Libra's realm. If dynamics have been off or something's been skewed, Venus's energy is going to act as a neutralizer, and it'll push us to see all sides of the situation and make a fair assessment. The assessment might take a minute. There's a little bit of indecision here because it needs to ruminate. It needs to really think about what it wants to do. So give it time. Do not rush. Venus in Libra, do not rush this sign. It's really just acting as a neutralizer, and it wants to see all sides of something if there's something that's been skewed or unbalanced, especially unbalanced power dynamics and situations that don't breed beauty, equality, or even fun and play. They are going to need readjusted by the scales of Venus in Libra. I already said it, but Venus in Libra is not some ditzy cutesy transit. Does Venus in Libra love nice things? Yes. Does it like to look beautiful? Yes. Is it also the realm of air, and does it need intellectual stimulation to be fully satisfied? Yes. Partnership of all kinds and collaboration may kick up within the realm of Libra as well. So if it lands in a social house for you, then go be social, connect, express interest in people and things you like, learn, adapt, curate. The last influence we have this week is a trine between the Sun and Saturn happening on Thursday. Saturn is freshly stationed retrograde in its fallen place of Aries, and the Sun is so bright, so happy in its domicile of Leo. The harmonic trine between these two is going to be a nice little boost for both of them. The Sun will benefit from Saturn's structure, and Saturn will benefit from the Sun's confidence and conscious awareness. The Sun is going to bring awareness to the realm of Aries and highlight something we can sink into as far as Saturn's retrograde is concerned. Because remember, this retrograde is like Saturn saying that we need to take everything we've done within the realm of Aries since February, but redo it and make it better. Instead of this feeling like shit, the Sun is going to help Saturn light that fire and showcase areas of easy improvement. At its best, Leo can really light you up. It can make you feel inspired. It can just make you feel like, man, I really can do it. And that's the energy the Sun is bringing to Saturn. It's bringing warmth, confidence, and a can-do attitude to Saturn's retrograde, which is kind of nice because it's not always going to feel this way or be easy to adjust something within the realm of Saturn. So we need to take that inspiration, that confidence, that helping hand at the end of the week while we can. Small, incremental, seemingly inconsequential progress is what we're going for because we know it's not really small or inconsequential in the totality of things. Now, Saturn is going to be giving its structure and limitation to the realm of Leo. The Sun just went through that cazimi with Jupiter, and there's goodness brewing within Leo, but maybe we aren't fully sure on what to do, how to build it. We don't know. It's still kind of new. This is where Saturn comes in, especially the retrograde portion of Saturn's energy. Saturn is primed to not just lend its structure to the realm of Leo, but its ability to restructure since it's retrograde right now. We might not have to build something entirely new within the realm of Leo because the bones are there, but we just need to reconfigure them in a way that works with our current vision. Instead of scrapping something entirely within the realm of Leo, see if you can make the cazimi energy work with what you already have by inviting this Sun trine Saturn energy in. Saturn's retrograde energy will show us the usefulness of the raw materials we already have and show us a better way to package them or make use of them in a more long-term way. For a week that technically doesn't have a whole lot going on, we definitely have enough to keep us busy. I think the Saturn trine sun aspect is going to be my personal favorite part. I'm excited to keep building within the realm of Leo and rework the realm of Aries. It's probably because I have so much fire, and that's what I'm focused on for myself. I have natal placements there. And Venus in Libra, Venus not being in my 12th house and gracing my first house is always a delight. But you should do the same and see how these transits are intermingling with your chart. If you have major Taurus energy or placements that aspect those early degrees of Taurus, then you'll want to pay more mind to Chiron retrograde because you're going to feel it more. I don't have them, so I don't really feel it yet. One last thing before I go. Lion's Gate isn't a traditional astrological concept. I don't care about it. I won't comment on it. It means nothing to me. Have a great week. Go check out my Substack, and I'll meet you back here next time. Thank you for tuning into this week's forecast. If you want more astrological content, including horoscopes, retrograde guides, and occult ramblings, subscribe to my Substack at Delana. It's the best way to keep up to date with my work and to never miss a post. To book a reading with me, sign up for my mailing list on my website, moonmattersastrology.com. I'll meet you back here next week, but until next time, later days.